It's an honor to share some memories of Gabi Barkay with you today. Thank you for asking. I only wish I could be with you on this occasion. Gabi's memory is indeed a blessing. I am Paul Wright, President Emeritus of Machon Amerikai, Jerusalem University College on Har Zion, Jerusalem. And like many of you, had the privilege of being a student, a colleague, and a friend of Gabi. I have a few thoughts to say with you today, but I think I'm going to read them. I can get through them, I think, better that way. Gabi taught courses for us in archaeology, especially the archaeology of Jerusalem, for 40 years. He taught eagerly, he taught gladly, he taught contentedly, he taught consistently. His role as teacher was stilled only by a growing illness that very unfortunately coincided with the stifling years of COVID. But he remained a mentor until the very end. I was able to see him, I think, the last time in November. My wife and I went to see him, and we're very glad for that opportunity. It was back, I believe, in 1979. I think that's somewhere toward the Byzantine period, when our academic dean, Karl Rasmussen, was leaving a Sunday morning service at St. Andrew's, and he noticed a rather young and energetic Gabi on Ketef Hinnom, doing what Gabi did best. A quick conversation led to our founding president, Dr. G. Douglas Young, bringing him on board. Like Gabi, Doug Young was Yakir Yerushalayim. Gabi joined a fantastic team at Machon Amerikai. If I start naming names, I'll invariably leave some out, but I know many of you were on that team. If you're listening, you know who you are, and thank you very much for being with us as well. Our curriculum is focused and integrative, text and land. Archaeology, history, geography, Hebrew language, Bible. Truth be told, Gabi could have taught any one of them. But he taught and he wrote and he lived archaeology as I think it should be taught and written about and lived as an integrative discipline, revealing the real lives of real people, those of whom we are heirs. We're also Gabi's heirs, all of us. It was a wonderful partnership. You know, Gabi opened so many doors for our students, many of whom today have significant positions in academia, in the pulpit, but like me, mostly remember him simply as a friend. Over the years, our students participated in many of Gabi's digs at Ketef Hinnom, at Ramat Rachel, I was on that one, Lachish, Zeta, others, of course, the Temple Mount Sifting Project. Some even collaborated with him in publications. All of them recall him fondly. Well, I was a student of Gabi's back in the mid-'80s. I recall that he was scheduled to lead a walking trip in Jerusalem, I think probably somewhere on or around Ir David. It was a winter's day. The weather was absolutely awful. I was living in Gilo. I saw the clouds hanging very low over the city. The wind was blowing terribly. And somehow I thought that Gabi would postpone the trip. And so I stayed home. Nope. And to my great loss. Afterward, he told us the story of when he was a student of Aharoni the Great on a walking trip in Upper Galilee, up on top and down below the hills there. And it was a similar day. All day, they couldn't see more, he said, than 10 meters in front of them, cold and wet. And all Aharoni did was keep walking and pointing out things on the far horizon that, of course, were there, and he could see. Like his teacher, Gabi could see. Gabi the Great. I would see something, Gabi said, 100 times is not enough. If I went somewhere 100 times, Gabi said it wasn't enough. If I read something in Tanakh, it wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. Like many, I enjoyed driving with Gabi through Jerusalem. Let me show you a shortcut how to get there, he would say often, and we made our way through the narrow and winding streets of the older part of the city, and he would point out constantly where this or that founding father, or this or that head of the Mossad, or this or that secret meeting between a prime minister and somebody else happened. All those things that once happened in what to me looked like nondescript buildings, Gabi saw. All those things lying hidden in strata of an archaeological tell, Gabi could see. And more than once, rounding a curve or cresting a hill, stopping to look at some landmark or prominent building, and Gabi saying, I never realized you could see it quite from this angle. Jerusalem never stops surprising me. And Gabi never lost that sense of wonder. Just over 20 years ago, he asked me if we could celebrate his 60th birthday in our gardens with some of his friends on our campus on Mount Zion. Of course you can, Gabi. And it was a very special gathering to celebrate his life at a time when the city was arising from the heavy days of the Second Intifada. We had a wonderful cake, and Gabi's friend Shuli Natan sang Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. Gabi Barkay, lover of Jerusalem, lover of Zion, lover of Tanakh, lover of his students, lover of wanting to know. I also look forward to those times when I was able to spend some time in his home on that slope below Adam Street. And there on his kitchen table was an ever-growing mound, a veritable tell of stratified textual artifacts, layer upon paper layer of materials he had read, or was reading, or was going to read, texts that he had written, or was writing, or that prompted all those things he had not yet written. I recall once, sometime after the close of a semester, I called him and I asked him if he had calculated the student grades yet. And he said, I lost the exams. Likely they had tumbled down somewhere on the wilderness side of the table into some earlier strata. And then he said, what can I do? No problem, Gabi. Everybody survived your class. They all deserve an A. We all deserve an A for being in his presence. Gabi lived to be a year and a half past 80. Wasn't enough. We all wished for Admea V'Asrim, another 40 years for him to let us know everything else that was in that marvelous head and in this marvelous heart of his. His memory is a blessing.